Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Troy with Geaux Moto, and this is our first Miata ever. Started off as a car my oldest son picked out and wanted to learn how to drive a manual, so we bought this as a fixer-upper back, I think in 2012. And started to work on it a little bit, and he decided he didn't like driving a manual, so I decided, well, I'll just make it a fun little track car. So it started off innocent enough, a couple wheels and tires, little few things here and there. And then all of a sudden Dayton decided he wanted to get his race license, and this was actually the first car he drove, I think when he was 12 or 13 years old. And we ended up roll caging it and starting to get it ready for a race life and make it a little bit safer. And so it started off, we started calling it the Race Yata. It's made a dozen configurations by now with different motors, transmissions, rear differentials. We've found what breaks, what doesn't, and we've kind of pushed everything to the limits over the last 10 years. And this is kind of the culmination of what we decided would be the ultimate Miata. So the car is I guess a little nod to Honda. Since we're running a Honda powertrain now, we sprayed it in the Indy yellow from the NSX back from the 90s. And subtle nod, it was already a yellow car, and we just try to crank it up a few notches with our paint booth and everything we do in-house. So pretty much what you see is what we've worked on as a company, and you know, we want to tell you all about it.
Hey guys, Cameron with Geaux Moto here, and we're going to show you the current iteration that we were able to refine it to. So like Troy mentioned, we are using a Honda motor, and this is specifically a K24 Z7, which is the same motor package that we're using in the last video with the orange NC DCT Miata. Same motor, but this has a little bit more done to it. We have a built bottom end. It's a Ramey Racing sleeved rods pistons motor, and we have a CNC ported 4-piston head that moves on to our 3D printed turbo manifold. This is the same manifold that is on that orange car, and we are using a G25 700, the new Garrett turbos, with a Turbo Smart 45mm wastegate. For the intake side, we have a K-Power intake manifold. We are using a built T56 transmission. The big difference between this car and the orange car, this car was built before any of the K-Power kit was released. We actually designed our own motor mounts for this car. They are made out of 316 steel. We 3D scanned the motor, 3D scanned the engine bay, and designed our motor mounts based off of that. We are using a stock NC Miata subframe. We did cut and plate it. So instead of using that tubular subframe that K-Power offers now, we made our own using the stock subframe. Continuing, we do have a custom trans mount made for this car. We did not make the diff mount. That was actually made by V8 Roadster. That diff was in this car before we did the whole Honda T56 swap. It had a built Turbo 2.5 with a stock NT transmission, but that was reused when we did the Honda and T56 swap. Axles, it has upgraded axles as well as all the bearings have been upgraded to handle all the power that we put through. So on the dyno, in this current exact setup, it makes 411 to the wheels. Now, this is built to hold a lot more power than that, but we want this to be a car that we can do a full 20-minute session on and not have to worry about temperatures or anything. So we detuned it. It is a very, very small turbo for the K24 platforms, with it being a CNC ported head, but the response is amazing. So it spools up almost immediately, and we rev it to 8,000, and there's no fall off. Obviously, we run a little bit more boost than what we were running in the G3770 to make that power, but we wanted the low end torque, and since we have the built bottom end, it can handle it. On the G30 770, at one point we were making just under 500 wheel, but it was relatively laggy, and it just created a lot of heat, and we didn't really like the way that it drove from because we originally had a G25 660 on this car, and it was the best it's ever felt. We switched to G30 just to kind of relieve some back pressure, up the power, and we ended up going back to this setup with our current manifold. Moving on into the interior, obviously the first thing that stands out is our AIM dash. So that's using our 3D printed bezel, as well as the AIM MXG believe this is a 1.1, so this is an older one. We have our quick release OMP steering wheel. We have the Recaro race seats and Sparco harnesses. This car does have a full cage in it. It was a wheel-to-wheel car before becoming a time attack car. So we did originally have door bars when the whole roll cage was welded in, but we decided to cut those out and make it a little bit easier to get in and out for time attack because we don't need them. We are running a factory Mazda dash, however, it's been taken apart and wrapped in Alcantara. We have our paint matched AC trim. And then on our center tombstone here, we do have a custom 3D printed bezel that holds our Garmin catalyst as well as our Haltech buttons for all of the functions that we need, whether it's overrides for the fan, pumps, our horn, AC, defrost, and all the other functions, especially boost. We do have different boost levels. We have the AWR kit back there to cover all of the stuff that is exposed when you do the roll bar or roll cage. We have our paint match fire extinguisher, and then all of our electronics are actually under that passenger footwell, which we'll show some footage of that as well. So that pretty much sums up the interior. We do have this big shifter because we've had trouble in the past with other shifters breaking. So we've had good luck with that one, and it's easy to get to from the steering wheel. So pretty much sums up the interior. We'll go ahead and show the trunk next, and then we'll go up to the exterior and the suspension setups and everything. So one of the biggest series that this car has competed in its history is the Optimal Ultimate Street Car Challenge. And a sector of that is basically where you describe your whole car. And one of the biggest parts of that sector is your trunk. So if you look in the trunk, we do have a custom trunk with our logo and everything just to make it look pretty. We do have a radium surge tank on this side, and we have our battery cover on that side, which we'll show some pictures and everything of. We do have a factory fuel tank in here with a lift pump that goes to this radium surge tank, and the surge tank goes to the front of the car. And we've had zero starvation problems with that surge tank. Moving on to some of the exterior, we do have a rear diffuser. It's not in its prettiest form at the moment because we have a beauty panel that we're getting made and then we're finishing up right now. That'll have our logo and a rain light with our logo blinking. Anyway, now, I don't know if it's very noticeable, but we do have fender flares on this car. They're molded fender flares, and it adds, I want to say about an inch all the way around. So that leads us into our wheel and tire and suspension package. We are running Apex VS5RSs, the 18x10 squared, and wrapped around that is the Vitour P1s, the 275/35/18s. For brakes, we're running the 14.1-inch Wilwood rig brake kit, 6-piston on the front, and then with a 12.8 4-piston in the back. And then continuing for suspension, we do have, every arm has been replaced with mostly SPL suspension stuff. And we do have different front upper control arms as well as the rear lower control arms that give us the adjustability that we need. Like I previously stated, Aero, we were running the 9 Lives Aero in the back, and we have a race spread splitter in the front along with their splitter mount to go along with it. One of our favorite things with this car is the side exit exhaust. So we have a full 3-inch system coming from the turbo back with an inline muffler and resonator, and it kicks it out since we don't have EBAP stuff anymore. We have the tailpipe coming out the side. And according to our dyno session the other day, we have huge fireballs that come out of it, so we'll throw some pictures up of that as well. Paired with that, we have our carbon side skirt extensions to go along with our Aero package, and then as well as hood venting. We do have the track spec hood vent up front, and then this is the universal APR. We did get a lot of questions when we did our orange NC a while back about what hood vents those are. So those are the APR universal hood vents. So this car started out as a 2009, so we did convert it to an NC3. So we have the black headlights, the NC3 bumpers, and then NC3 taillights. We do have some custom lighting as well. So we added our yellow LEDs in that front grille, and we also have some interior lighting to go along with it, which lights up our fleur-de-lis gussets for the cage, since we are down in Louisiana. So that pretty much sums up the current iteration of this car. Obviously, like Troy stated, there have been many iterations throughout the years, but this is kind of the winning formula that we've had really good luck with. Just low power, super reliable, super torquey, and just an overall good time. And obviously, it's a very quick car, and we're hoping to have a very successful season coming up next year. So Thank you guys for watching. Obviously, if you have any questions or anything, make sure to comment down below, and follow us on all of our socials at Geaux Moto on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So thanks guys, appreciate you for watching.